This is Emmett Jorgensen in the Hole. My name's Sophie Chu O'Neill. Welcome to In the Hole. You're a ceramicist, and I went to college with you, and now I'm forcing you to be on my podcast.
That's
How are you
true.
today?
I'm good. I'm having a day of people making me do stuff, which is a lot of my days, which is good.
Good. How would you describe what you do?
What I actually do, or like my art practice?
Both.
Okay. Well, right now it's sort of on hold. I'm not making a lot right now, but my most recent work was sculptural pots that I call them sculptural because they're not really functional. That use kind of structural frameworks to make narratives about gay men and gay relationships. And they generally look very pop and colorful, and I like to candy coat things, even when they're kind of not the nicest. And in like outside of that, what I do is work for a ceramic sculptor in Connecticut, mostly chopping and stacking wood and moving 1,000-pound bronzes around. Yeah, wetting down clay and like just like moving heavy stuff all the time.
Is that what you anticipated? Like, are you in school, like majoring in ceramics, and it is the expectation that you work assisting in a studio?
I mean, in school, I was an assistant to another potter, of like a village potter. She wasn't a sculptor. She made mugs and plates and bowls for people to use. That was a lot of like finishing work on functional objects. So, sanding the bottom so that it's nice to touch and doesn't scratch your nice, wooden table that you might have, or glazing mugs, or putting on decals, or working a ram press. And it was very studio oriented, like hand skills, touching things up, making sure they're kind of pristine. So I had like that sort of expectation in college. Like, oh, this is a way that I can work in the field and make money and like be around cool people and like have a boss that I'm friends with and like is a mentor to me, which is really exciting and feels important. And then out of school, I got a job at a place called Watershed Center for the Ceramic Arts, and I cook there for all of the residents seasonally over the summers. That's like a funny confluence of my most recent experience in art school, and then before art school I was a cook, so that like kind of weirdly brought things together. During that time I like get studio space at Watershed, but I kind of find that I wasn't using it as much, and I was like doing writing and reading and doing these other things. Like I was kind of passively making ceramic work, and I was way more interested in like interacting with the people that were actually there at the time, like hanging out with the residents who were who were just like great ceramic artists from around the world. So I feel like since school I've had like a shift from being interested in like being in a studio to like being interested in working with artists and being an artist myself, but like I'm excited about community. I guess it's like kind of a blah way to say that, but like who isn't excited about community? But like I'm interested in like helping people make work at this point where I'm like not I'm not in a space to like facilitate my own practice. So like being able to cook people meals or like chop their wood so that they can build their practice is pretty exciting, and it means I get to hang out with cool people. So that's great. But yeah, like I didn't grow up chopping wood.
Yeah.
It just wasn't like my friends did, but we didn't have a wood furnace, a wood stove in our house or anything. And But yeah, now I can do that. It's weird to like learn it as an adult, like how to chop wood and like use a wood splitter and an axe and how to stack wood, which isn't very difficult, but
In the past, you were cooking.
yeah.
When did you start doing ceramics? Was that like
Um,
a later decision, or because I don't really see a vision of you at 9 being like, I want to cook and do ceramics when I'm big.
no, at 9 I didn't want to cook. Well, I always liked cooking. I was from a family of people that really liked food. Like sort of snobbishly liked food. I'm from a family of snobs, really. Like people are they're very picky and um luckily I think tasteful. So like it was like nice to be around nice stuff. Um even though it was often like beyond our means, but I think so I like got into cooking because it was just like essentially my friend quit. Um I had this really close friend in high school. We were like 15 and she was working as a dishwasher and she I don't remember exactly what happened, but she had some like moment. She broke up with someone or something and she was like, "Oh, I can't do this job anymore." So she just quit and she was just like, "Come cover my shift. They're not going to care." She's like, "Come work my shift because I'm quitting." So I just showed up at this restaurant and like started dishwashing. And I was never like onboarded or I never signed anything and I just worked there sort of on and off for like 7 years. And I like very quickly went from dish to being in the kitchen, and then I just like stayed in kitchens. But as like a kid, I wanted to be like a genetic engineer. Like as a little kid, I was like, I'm going to MIT for sure, and I'm becoming a genetic engineer, and I'm gonna like play God
Do you know why
with
you
crops.
wanted to be? Like what was that? Do you remember like a movie that you saw that made this
No,
happen? Like
I just remember as a kid, I was really disappointed with like the real world. Like I wanted something new and exciting, and I thought like the only way I could do that is if I like genetically modify plants to be new and exciting. So I like wanted to make essentially like my dream as a child was to make like strange fruits. But that doesn't exist in the world. Like if you become a genetic engineer, you work for like Monsanto and you just make like a corn that is slightly bigger. Like that's what that job is. I mean, obviously, I don't know the full complexity of the job because I didn't go to school for that. But like, as far as I could tell, I like had this crisis at maybe 15 when I got this kitchen job. I was like, oh, it doesn't exist. But I was always making art. Like I was always drawing. My closest friends were always artists. So it like became like the second idea I had for like creating this more interesting world to live in. But yeah, when I was in high school, I was like a scavenger ceramicist. I didn't really like working with wet clay, but what I loved doing was stealing all of the unclaimed work. Like people would just make some crappy pot. Then you're in high school, you don't want your crappy pot, you know? What are you going to do with it? You have like bigger priorities, like getting beer or something, or, you know, who cares? So they would just leave them like around the art room, and I would take them and I would glaze them, and I was really excited about glazing just random work. But other than that, I was painting a lot, and I went into school thinking I was going to be a painting major. Our school had some really great painting professors, but I just like really got along with the ceramic department. Like it just really something clicked. I don't like being pragmatic necessarily, but it also made sense to me to major in ceramics because it was a facility that you don't have access to anywhere unless you're in like direct like you somehow get in. Like there were a lot of kilns. There's a great glaze room that was exciting on this like science aspect that I was interested in. So I was like, oh, like I'm never gonna have like a coincidental exposure to this again. So like let's just immerse in this. And then ceramic became like the interest that I had. But yeah, as a kid I wasn't like interested in pots necessarily. I did grow up with my grandmother had an antique shop and she was kind of obsessed with ceramic. So maybe that's in there, but it wasn't necessarily like I liked it, but I didn't have like this pivotal. Some ceramicists are like, my great grandmother had this one pot, and every day I saw it on top of the mantelpiece, and I went, woo. And I don't know that I quite had that, but
Yeah. How did you end up at Mecca?
I ended up Mecca because it gave me the most money. It was the cheapest to go to Mecca.
Now, isn't that classic?
I think that's how you get into Mecca. I think luckily Mecca has some good stuff going for it.
Mm-hmm. But that's how they get you in there.
Yeah. Well, they also got me with the classic. Mecca had a classic ruse of a build your own major that doesn't actually exist.
They got you with that. I've never heard of this.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's a shame. I know people that decided against Mecca because they won't do that. Like, they wouldn't let me double major even.
So when I was applying, it was like a thing of we have all of these facilities, and we have these specific majors, but if you want to be a sculptor who is a woodworker and a metal worker, like you can kind of design a major of your own.
Which is not entirely untrue. It's just not a major.
It's
just you can take electives.
Yeah, it's not in writing.
Yeah.
It's not like you're still in whatever major you're in.
Yeah.
You can't quite like push on that in a way that was sort of described to me. But I'm also saying this as like I was like 17 when I applied. Maybe I was just an idiot and I was just hearing what I wanted to hear.
No, it seems like something that they would, and I have also heard that they are not entirely truthful about. I also think when you're 17 and you're applying to schools, or at least for me, what I think I want is not what I want, and what I think is valuable ends up not valuable at all. Whatever
not
it
at all.
says after your BFA is, it's invisible. It doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, like a public school art program, I mean, obviously it varies, but just generally, you're not taught how to study art in a way that you are at a college. So like when you're applying to college, you have no idea what to look for. Like if I were to look for grad school now, like my list of requirements are so completely different than what I was looking for in undergrad. I like don't even know what I was looking for in undergrad. I was just like, oh, I have to pick one. But yeah, like what's important is the specific faculty that you have. Like what can you learn from the people there, and then and are they people that you can treat as mentors? Like, because if you go to a school, even if the faculty is the best in the world, if you don't get along, they're not going to be like a mentor to you. Mm-hmm. They're not going to push opportunities on you. They're not going to like give you their little secrets. They're not going to tell you about how like the intimate details of how specifically they succeeded in their life. You need to find a place where you like get along and also the people are great. So like that's what I would look for in grad school now, but in undergrad I was just like, cool, it's in a city. Like
yeah, who you have rapport with sort of directly paves your way.
Yeah.
Like even very young, I always blame the fact that like I didn't get along with my teachers in history and social studies, and I am bad at history and geography. And I think it's just by way of like I got along very well with my science and math teachers, and therefore was good at science and math. And then this is proving true now. If you have rapport with someone in an interview, you'll end up at that studio or at that job.
Yeah. Or even like it's worked out for me. Like, I had a great um, critical theory and gender theory professor who was also really interested in poetry, and I had been like vaguely interested in poetry, but she like was really interested in my poetry in a way that didn't felt like she was not like giving out compliments loosely to people. Um, like because we were kind of friendly, I kind of knew that she was actually like a little bit. She was pretty strict, and she liked my work, and um, so like now I've been writing more poetry, and it's just like that little confidence boost, which feels so like ridiculous or like why would you even need that? Like you're an artist, like just completely propel yourself into making all the work you ever wanted to make, and like just have that capability to just do it.
But
People don't actually have that.
yes.
Like everyone has been given confidence by someone else
Yeah,
to
like
do
some
it.
external pressure is
Yeah.
needed. I think that it's also it's more about just having recognition, whether good or bad. I also think that even having people recognize that I was doing something and telling me it wasn't good was equally
Oh,
as helpful.
if not
Because
more.
at least I was like, yeah, if not more, at least someone was like being aware and thoughtful for what I was producing. That is invaluable.
I mean, we had
And that counts as propelling from external things.
yeah. We had in school. It was sort of unspoken, but sometimes it was definitely spoken. We had a rule in like our friend group that was like, if you're a good friend to me, you're gonna tell me if I'm making bad shit. Like
Yes,
if
yeah,
I'm
that
making
is
something,
true companionship.
yeah, if I'm making something, we like just a dead end that just doesn't make any sense, doesn't line up with what I'm wanting, where I want to go. If it's just ugly for no reason, like
Feel like the message isn't coming across. If there's
yeah,
something faulty about it,
yeah,
whether I should fix it or give up on it, your community has to tell you that because they're the only ones that also know your path.
yeah, you need to be honest, like because you're just like letting someone drown if you're just like letting them make crappy work, and it's not about being mean, it's like
It's about being honest, which is
yeah,
the kinder, maybe not nicer thing to hear, but the kinder thing to do.
yeah,
I know at Mecca, I always felt like even though there were friend groups that went across majors and mediums, you could still tell that a lot of friend groups had a similar quality of work, if not approach to work. And there were friend groups that definitely, I think you could tell, were not critiquing each other's work or pushing each other or at root just being honest with each other, where I think I did trust that like Olivia would tell me if something was good or bad. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And there's a lot of reassurance in knowing that the friend group you hold, if your major can't uphold that standard, that your friend group or whatever community you found or built will not even like keep you in check, but keep you aligned with what resonates with you, and like
yeah,
that
yeah,
you're communicating what you're desperately trying to communicate when you're making something.
yeah. And I thought it was really sort of jarring, actually, that the predominant it felt like the predominant culture of the school, and I think this is maybe a lot of art schools now from what I've heard, is like anti-critique. It's like sort of, yeah, people like hate critique.
Yeah, and teachers are getting in trouble for critiquing. I also thought it was a Mecca problem for a while, and then I had a conversation with the head of my major, and he said that he was at more rigorous schools, which were already getting more like needed to get softer. Like they were already being told, like, you parents are upset, their kids are depressed, their kids are anxious, we can't be negative about the things they're creating. And then he came to Mecca and he got in trouble because he told a student, like, very outright, this thing is bad, it's not working. Like
Yeah.
something harsh, but not that harsh. Like when he went to school, he was having things like torn up. That's so unheard of. It doesn't even,
Yeah.
you would rarely have something torn up. And you have to make it known that you want like real harsh critique in like a real way.
Yeah, but it feels like such a strange jump because who do we all think we are that our work in school is untouchable?
Yeah, why should it be good? And
It's supposed to be bad.
It's
It ought to be bad because that's like when you learn.
or even if you can recognize that something is good for what it is, we should be able to believe in the infinite potential of the work that we're making.
Yeah.
Enough that we should at least get feedback to make it a bigger, brighter, more clear, more coherent, more ugly, more intense thing. Like there is a way for it to get bigger or go somewhere, and I feel like there's a lot of like, if this is what you produce, they're like, this is what we got, that's it, like that's, and it's the kindest thing you can do for someone is to believe in them, and I feel like it's just constantly like, kids aren't feeling believed in because teachers can't give critique, which is a way of believing in someone. But the default is absolutely like, good job, and critique as a whole has become like, oh, I love that drawing. It looks like Steven Universe. I love Steven Universe. Like, it's a lot of like, I like your thing. It looks like this thing I like. That means I like your thing. Like, just kind of loosely connecting it to an already accepted and positive thing, which is not helpful or healthy, probably.
No, and I think like, I have an anxiety that I don't want to project onto other people because like it's not necessarily helpful, I don't think, but you know, every time I make something, I like dread the idea that like that's as good as it gets.
Yes, yeah, that's horrifying.
It's horrible.
People should be horrified of this.
So every time
you said don't project this onto other people, and I'm like, yeah, I feel this way. Everyone should feel this way. But continue. Yeah.
But like it is an anxiety. I'm not like trying to make people more anxious, but because like Lord knows people don't need to be more anxious right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a horrible idea to me that like something will be the last thing that I make, and like that will be as good as it gets. Because every time I make something, there are.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, hold this thought. You were saying you don't mean to project your anxieties onto other people, but you do have a fear of something being the last thing you'll ever make.
Yeah, well, it's just every time I make something, you know, there are like nearly infinitely things wrong with it to me. Like art is interesting to me because it's a never-ending problem to solve. They're like puzzle pieces you have to put together. That's why I like said before, they're like structuralist pots. Like they have like pieces stacked. It's like putting this puzzle together. Yeah, so the idea that something is done is or great or nice or did a great job isn't reassuring to me ever. I don't think I'm in a place to. My anxiety about projecting, my other anxiety about projecting this onto people, is that I don't want to. I don't think that my approach to this sort of thing is inherently better than someone else's. Like maybe someone really does need this like perfect world of like everyone is nice about your work and everything is a good job, and that genuinely is what they need to progress. I'm sure there are many people that are like that. Like there's like this polar opposite to us, and we like can't even. You know, I don't want to step on toes. Like I want everyone to be making work that they like, and to be making. Because I think that's like the best case scenarios if everyone is making and is cool with it. And so it's hard to even be like, oh, my philosophy on this is right. Because who knows? I mean, I'm pretty sure it is, but...
Yeah. But in general, it's like the external thing. Like to some people, maybe the devil is inside of them enough that all they need is happiness and positivity. But like in general, it's more about recognition of where you are on the spectrum and where you need to orient yourself in your community, or where you need to find a community that can be the thing that balances you and brings you to the middle of the spectrum. Because there should be like a healthy amount of I am good and deserving of the opportunity to make because I make good, important things, and also I can continue to make better things, and my potential is infinite, and I can grow and get better in a million ways all the time. Like it's probably best to be somewhere in the middle. This might be a helpful question. I can also cut this. What was college like?
In what way?
Just like college before college and maybe even after college becomes flattened to like the idea of college before I went had infinite possibilities, and now that I'm out of it, it's definitely, I have a clear understanding of what line it's written for me in my story, and like what purpose did it serve you? Like did it teach you, like for some people I think it's like it became far less about the education they were provided and far more about the community they found there, or vice versa, or it taught them about themselves because they ran through all these friend groups and like needed to find something new for themselves. Like college is a very shifting life stage for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I went in and I made a lot of work my freshman year. Like I really exhausted myself in like foundation classes in a way that was almost, I think, silly. Like I was pushing really hard because I had to take a gap year for financial reasons, and that was really frustrating to me. So when I got there, I was being kind of voracious, and by sophomore year, I like sort of reoriented myself a little bit and started investing a lot more time into friends, and that became sort of what I got from school at that point. Like I have many wonderful, successful, awesome friends, and I also have, you know, older professional peers who like give me opportunities because I'm like close with them and we're friends at this point, you know, like, and it feels kind of shallow to be like, oh, college was like this like purely social thing, because of course there was academics and critique that was important, and you know, so much space to make work, which is hard to come by. But like the job for the village potter I was talking about, I got through my friend who got that job from the head of the department, who, you know, knew her from way back. And then the job at Watershed I got was through the head of the department. And the job I got chopping wood recently, not actually, it was a couple years ago. It wasn't even recently, but that, I guess I was kind of different. But I was on a Potter's Love, like a little pottery trail tour. They do it all over New England. I don't know if they do it all over the country, but it'll be like they'll open up their studios for people to come, and they'll invite other potters to like host at their studio. So you like drive down one road or a couple of roads, and you just hit every studio in like a portion of your state, and you get to meet like all the potters that are interested in doing that sort of thing, I guess. I pull up to this one studio with my friend, and it's this older ceramic sculptor, and she's like trying to wrestle books out from underneath the staircase. And I was just like, do you need help? Like, because like it's like this group of older women like struggling to like fight this staircase. I was like, oh, I can get that for you in like 1 second. Like, it's no, like, seriously, like, please. And I do that, and they all are like, oh my God, like, who is this boy? Like they're really hamming me up in a way that I was honestly like, I need to get out of here. But they were very sweet, and, you know, and they made me sign their guest book. And then like a month later, I get this email out of the blue that's like, are you who I think you are? Like, are you the person that like got the books out of the book out from underneath the staircase? And I emailed back like, yeah. And I got a second email that was like, come help me chop wood, please. Like, so I just like got this job for this really great artist doing that. Just like a random, like I showed up at her house on this tour and like grabbed some books and got a job. The more people you meet, the better your chances, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I sort of learned that in school. Mm-hmm. So I was like going on this tour because of that. Because really it's like the tour for the Potters is like a marketing thing, you know? They're trying to like get their name out and sell some work to some like people that are bored on a Sunday. Mm-hmm. You know, they have nothing better to do in like little town Connecticut, so they're like driving around. But I see that and I go like, oh, I get to like meet all of these Potters and maybe one of them needs help. Mm-hmm. And I'm like excited to help. Mm-hmm. So I guess, yeah, that's like maybe the best thing that I learned in college is that you actually need to do stuff. Because I'm not a person that actually likes doing stuff.
Yeah, so you mean taking initiative, doing stuff.
Taking initiative
to go out.
Yeah.
Like if you go out, the world will prove, like some fruit.
Yeah.
Come.
Yeah, because I mean, I think a lot of people don't need college for that, but I did. Because I'm sort of reclusive and not interested in participating.
As we said earlier, today is a day of being forced to do things.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because you know that about yourself. So what are you doing right now in life and also in your artistic pursuits? You're still chopping wood.
I'm still
You're
chopping.
You're going to Watershed this summer.
Going to Watershed in about a month. And that's like a 5-month and change contract where I live there. I'm trying and failing miserably to get my license.
Wait, why are you failing miserably?
I haven't been able to take the test.
But you've never failed the test.
I've never failed the test. I've never been able to take it.
Okay.
I've tried 3 times to take it, and I've been turned away each time.
Why?
For, like, small defects on a car. Oh. Like, your car has to be like, perfect to take the road test in it.
Oh, not wherever. Wherever I took the test, my shaky car that can't go 50 miles per hour, that's what I was legally allowed to drive on.
They just keep turning me away with, like, all of, like, every car.
Oh, fascinating.
I have access. It's like, I don't know anyone in Connecticut that has a car like this. Don't know anybody. I don't know anyone anywhere that has, like, this, like, pristine, brand new car.
Yeah, you could lease a car just for a day.
You can't.
You can't rent a car?
No.
Well, now I feel like they're just being choosy.
Yeah, they're being dicks. But it's fine. I mean, it's not like a desperate... It feels desperate. It's not actually desperate.
In the effort of praising the overwhelming sense of freedom and joy that came when I got my license, like, it is a necessity in places that are driving centric.
Well, yeah, I mean, half the year I live in rural Connecticut, which, like, how rural does it get? Whatever. But it is pretty, like, I live a mile into the woods on a dirt road, you know.
Mhm.
And then beyond that, it's like 5 miles from even a tiny town.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not walking anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not really biking anywhere either because it's, like, miserable to bike there.
Yeah, it's not made convenient, so
Yeah.
therefore it's not an option.
And everyone's always describing to me this, like, oh, having a car. Oh, like,
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, sorry,
I
that
get
probably
it.
didn't help. Yeah, I was
But-
released from the chains of being unlicensed at 15, but
Yeah.
I've been free for years. It's great.
I've yet to get there. But I mean, that's another thing with like maybe that's why I like this like community thing is like I literally need rides, guys. Guys, I need to go places sometimes and
That's
I
why
need
you're
you to
friends with
drive me.
Olivia.
Yeah. That's
Olivia had car.
That's the only reason. I'm friends with anybody. But
I actually was on the opposite side. I found purpose via having a license.
yeah.
I felt like having a license made me feel like it's okay. Like they're not just being friends with me because they pity me. They're friends with me because I have a car. Like
Because I
I'm
can
a
drive
useful
them.
friend. Yeah. Like it made me feel like I don't have to feel bad that they are so kindly being my friend because I can provide them with my car and that's nice of me.
Yeah.
Like that was my I saw my value.
Well, that's nice to hear because maybe I'm giving people purpose,
Yeah, you're
Maybe.
literally helping people find their purpose.
which is really such an evil thought.
Mine was my RAV4. Yeah, mine was the sad thought. I was like, I need to compensate the allowance of being a friend
Yeah.
with my purple RAV4.
And if I were to pick that up, it would be on the other side, and it would be like my friends are so miserable and purposeless that like driving me can help with that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I'm trying to do that. Get my license because ceramic stuff is in the middle of nowhere. Always. Always. Like the best stuff, you're like going out into the mountains. And there's literally no way to do it without a car. I mean, some places like have some kind of taxi service or something, and maybe you could make it work. But by and large, you just like need a car to do this fun ceramic stuff. So that's what I mean. It's like not desperate. Like I can sort of figure it out, work and make money and kind of live a life without one. But
it's necessary for the career
Yeah.
long term, so it's must happen
Yeah.
sooner rather than later.
it's gonna happen.
It's gonna be great.
Yeah,
You're gonna finally feel what it's like.
they're gonna love it.
You could talk about your LA trip, but I don't know if that's necessarily. But that's like
I mean, it was
that's like
fun.
a cool part I think of this phase of things is like all of our friends are taking like first steps into their careers sort of, so
Yeah.
you're able to go visit people on
Yeah, take little irresponsible trips.
yeah. Yeah, like I think I was talking to someone else, I completely forget who, but it was like we have the ability to sort of like drop the things we're doing and go to someone's wedding far away or go visit a
Yeah.
friend who just moved to a new place because we're not so in the pursuit that it's like, oh, sorry, I'm on set filming this movie this week, like I can't.
Yeah, I mean, there is definitely a freedom to having, and this isn't me talking about my own job because I love my jobs, but like a lot of people have shitty dumb jobs,
Yeah.
and when you have a shitty dumb job, you know, you need it, you need the money, but like you can get another shitty dumb job.
There's a beauty in having not no, but less responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the flexibility of food service because I'm not saying I'm cutting out all the time, but it is nice to know that like if they're down one waitress, it's fine.
Yeah, people can
or
pull
there's
through.
someone will cover. And even if someone doesn't cover, God forbid there's one less waitress at like Denny's this morning.
Yeah.
Like it'll be okay.
Yeah.
Especially when I think there is so much pressure to like make every job your entire being.
Yeah, I do. Well, I do get really competitive at jobs.
Yeah, I have learned that I can't just have a job. It is unrealistic to expect myself to not throw my actual identity into a thing. So
Yeah.
I'm starting a new barista job soon, and I know for a fact that it will reflect on how I feel about myself, and I must perform well. Like it needs to be a
Yeah,
space
yeah.
where I'm enjoying the community I'm with enough, or enjoying the work I do enough that it's not making me like dislike myself.
Yeah, I'm like, I feel pretty greedy about jobs where it's like, I want cool people that I like. I want to be able to have creative influence. I want um, to be able to be competitive. Like, I want to defeat everyone at my job. um, which is like a lot to ask for from like a little shitty job. But restaurants do that. I mean, restaurants are very competitive, and generally they're full of freaks. And like if you're a cook, sometimes you can put something on the menu.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I am also greedy about jobs. Uh, like I had that meeting recently, and he sort of made it sound like you can't look for everything in a job, which to me is the same thing as someone being like, well, your boyfriend has to cheat on you sometimes. He cannot be everything. He simply cannot. He cannot be good at the dishes and loyal. Like,
Yeah.
and I think I am in the same place. And maybe it's because food service continued to prove that it's possible over and over and over again. I've worked at so many restaurants. I've been back of house, front of house. I'm continually finding like there can be kind, hardworking people that have the same like have competitive spirit for themselves, and
Yeah.
I don't know, like have all of these things, and also a job that maintains autonomy and provides not too much responsibility.
Yeah.
And it's possible. It's possible. So I don't see why. But I guess my point is, I too have been called greedy for searching for this.
Yeah.
But I used to like when I was at Uncharted and I was like head barista or whatever. I would work 10 hours Saturday and 10 hours Sunday. And I've had people be like, wow, that's a long shift. And especially people that haven't been in food service are like, wow, that's a long shift.
Yeah.
But I loved it. I thought it was so convenient.
Yeah.
Like once you're at a job for 8 hours, 2 hours is no big deal.
Yeah, who cares?
And the people I worked with were great. The manager was great. The owner was great. The space was great. The customers were great. I'm not saying I didn't have a bad time sometimes or get grumpy at a coworker or a customer or like the boss.
Yeah.
Like I'm not saying that sort of stuff doesn't happen at all. But in general, like it was checking my boxes. I had like freedom and trust, but I also had responsibility and like wanted to do well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I could play whatever I wanted on the radio, and it was
that's
always
very important.
It was always Ethiopian jazz. I would never put on Arcade Fire where it doesn't belong.
Well, that's a specific it's a specific place. Well, I was just talking to my friend who is a barista about people like being the person that's like overseeing someone's stage at a place is so, because I was doing that at a place in Connecticut. I was hiring people, and she's doing that now and at a cafe in LA. And it's funny, there are like, I don't know how to say it without sounding evil, but there are like a couple groups of people, and most people who like apply are like they cannot do basic tasks. It's really kind of confusing, and they just like straight up lie. Like she was talking about how, you know, they had someone come in for a trial shift and they were like, yeah, I know how to dial in an espresso machine, and like I know how to do it just right every time. And you know, I don't know about espresso, so I'm like speaking just however I can say it, but and you know, can do all these things, and they come in and they just kind of like spin in a circle for like 2 hours and like don't know how to do a single thing. And she's gone through like 8 applicants that are like this, and at a lot of places that's fine because you know, they have the capacity for training someone, but like you need to know what you're applying for. Like some places do not have the capacity to train you. Like if you're applying for a kitchen, like know what kitchen you're applying for. Some will not train you as like you'll learn, but like they're not going to teach you how to use a knife. You have to already know how to use a knife. There are kitchens that will teach you how to use a knife. You got to find those ones. Job markets are very competitive, and it is very hard to find a job. I'm not trying to say that it's not, but like there a lot of applicants are like not very good. Like if you're not feeling confident about your resume or your skills, like that might be warranted, but also you might actually be much better than many other applicants. And also a lot of these jobs are like, if you show up to a stage and you're weird but really skillful, like you're hard to talk to. I guess I shouldn't say weird, but like if you just don't click with the people that already work there, you're not going to get the job, even if you're perfect in every other way.
Yeah.
So it's like it's weird that it becomes like, it's not a popularity contest, but it is just like, can you
mesh well? They don't want,
Yeah.
like, the kitchens don't want robots. You want someone who fills a role in the dynamic of the little society built back of house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which adds to this like luck factor of getting a job, but
it's also an important part to making it work because
yeah, and it's also reassuring at the same time.
Yeah, I do think thinking of it more about just like, is it a good match, is reassuring and frightening, because then if I don't get something, I'm like, well, it wasn't a good fit. And if I do get something, I can know that it's because there's some unspoken level of rapport or connection necessary that will make it a mutually beneficial and successful experience.
Yeah, and you like want a job where you get along with people, because those people are the people that are going to get you jobs later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because they work somewhere else too. They also have 2 jobs.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And when they quit that second job, maybe you want that second job.
Yeah.
So, and, you know, everyone that is young and, I don't have another word for this, but like a young creative.
Okay, yeah.
I'm just not thinking of a better way to say that, but
no, that's true. I mean,
they like have jobs.
Yeah.
That we also have. So you go into these jobs that you think suck, and you meet someone that's like a cool writer, and you're like, oh, I want to be a writer. And then, you know, they move on, they get some internship or some job that is writing, and then eventually they quit that and they remember you from being some bar backer, and they're like, that guy was fun.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, maybe I'll pass it on, give them a shot at this. It's like terrible in the sense that things can feel closed off. Like if you're not on the in, you can't get in because you didn't know the person who you like used to, you know. But also, it's like that's the opportunity. Like it's also opportunistic. Like all you have to do is meet people. Just go and work a shitty job, meet someone, take some books out of the staircase.
Yeah, wait for old women in groups to need assistance.
Yeah, that is honestly gotten me very far before.
Yeah, no, being able to, I mean, it speaks to the root of it is just like seeing where your help and your skill set is needed and being open to it. That is what that situation is.
And also like respect your elders.
And also respect your elders. That's true. I do think that ageism is a serious problem, and I forget because I'm very close with my grandma, and she's not. There's no age barrier when I'm talking to her. But I can see that sometimes she is treated like she is elderly before she is treated as Carol.
Yeah.
And like I'm making a joke about this like group of old women that need help, but like I do think that there's one approaching that situation and treating them like they're all old, and still helping. But there is also treating them like they're old to the extent that you don't see that they are like people with opportunity and interest and ability and potential of their own and something to pass on and something to be gained from you, even like seeing them as an equal and also some place to help and also something to help you. And I think that ageism and barrier can get in the way, because I think that people are either hesitant to interact with people in different generations purely because they're in different generations, whether that be elderly or not. And then there's also just like treating them like they're kind of aliens because they're in a different generation. And both ways are opposite sides of the spectrum of bad, which is one is disrespectful and one is respectful, as opposed to you can use it as context. Like the context is like they need help with the staircase.
Yeah.
But then the action there is still like they are like people.
Yeah, if anyone needed help with the staircase.
That's all me covering for the fact that I called them old women needing help.
Well, they are old.
Yeah, but like, I know that can give the incorrect implication.
Yeah, but like Carol, just as an example, would not give someone a job if like someone was acting like she was old as fuck.
Yes. Yeah, that's true.
Because who would?
Yeah, because if they're already setting that limitation for no reason, like they're gonna have all of these other limitations that are like closing off.
And that applies to, anything. Like when I was hiring for this kitchen, like these dudes it's mostly men that I saw, like this certain 30-something man would come in, and all of the managers except for me were women at this kitchen. And I'd be training them or interviewing them, and they would like make a comment about like something ridiculous, like this, you're listening to this broad, and it's like instantly fail, like, hey, no, you're not gonna work here, like that's my friend.
Yeah.
So like any little thing that's just like unlikable, like, or just like heinous, of course, like don't, like, you're not gonna get away with it.
It's indicative of a much larger and deeper rooted issue.
Yeah, and
it's important to take notice, because it's just telling you there's going to be a different, bigger, or equal problem later.
Yeah. And it's also like know your market, like where are you trying to go? In ceramics, obviously this isn't the core of the reason I feel this way about it, but like in ceramics, it's a lot of women, and it's a lot of older, like, master craftsmen who are master craftsmen because they're old. They've been doing it for a long time. So like if you're looking to get into ceramics and you have prejudices against women or old people, you're not going to go very far, because like that's who's running shit. Yeah. So like whatever if you're like a finance bro, I'm sure it would actually help you to be like shitty to people. Like, because it's run by old dudes who are probably shitty to people.
Yeah, if you're in the in-group, soar in the in-group, I guess.
Yeah. Like, I'm not thinking about that in a way of like, oh, now I have to be nice to women.
Yeah.
But,
But this sentiment of sort of like know your audience.
Yeah.
You can't want something from the community and cut off the community on.
Yeah. You have to actually be participating in
the whole.
In the whole, and in like a noticeable and real way.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're up to now. I know what you're up to way back when. What are you doing next? I know that you were being forced to do a proposal today.
Yeah, that's also on the docket for today. Olivia and I Olivia's a woodworker. We're putting together a proposal to use the gallery space at Watershed to do a little duo show of craft objects that are generally industrialized today. So things like your sink, your toilet paper holder, your ironing board, your ladder. There isn't really an option to get them handmade. Not that anyone could afford it, but like the option doesn't even exist, really. I mean, I'm sure someone is doing it, but not on a scale that is accessible to anybody. And it's not that we're going to fill that void, but we just thought it was like an interesting thing to kind of point to. And like, what if you were a weirdo and you just really wanted like an ironing board that was built into your wall and was covered in ornate textile motifs? Where did you get it? It's also interesting because it's back to this like world building thing, is like wherever you live and the space that you're spending a lot of your time, your house is a huge part of your world, especially now. I mean, a lot of people spend a lot of time indoors. Being able to actually build that space into something that is sort of magical and kitschy and strange and exciting is really interesting to me. I want to live in a world where toilets can be houndstooth. It's probably not practical. It's stupid, but like I want that. I want a Pee-wee's Playhouse, and it feels like to do that, I first have to make other people interested in that happening.
Mm-hmm.
I have to sell a bunch of houndstooth toilets before I can have a houndstooth toilet of my own. So this is like this proposal is like a first step to that like ideal, I guess, practice of making this sort of thing, so that I can have it in the end. But yeah, we have to write that proposal. We have it mostly written, but we have to write like a fancy schmancy little blurb about like a concept and a bio, which should take 20 minutes, but someone's telling me what to do, so I'm like, get off my back. Oh, like,
Mom.
Yeah.
That's very exciting. And that would most likely take place this summer.
This summer or next. But either way. Yeah, because we were also thinking about, like, Olivia and I have been making work separately that is taking up a lot of space in our lives. We literally have big, heavy shit that we're like, what do we do with it? Hopefully someone buys it, but between trying to sell it, like, where does it go? So we sort of came to this idea partially by like having all of this shit around and wondering to ourselves, like, what if it was just something we could integrate into our lives? Like, if we were, instead of making non-functional sculptural pots that go to a gallery and then maybe one of them sells and then I get the rest back and I just have to like hide them in the corner. Like, what if I made like a toilet that I could just install in my bathroom? Like, that's where it lives. Until maybe I try to sell it. I mean, it'd be a used toilet at that point, which is like kind of gross. But that was sort of the idea. Like, what if after we do this whole art thing, the making, the applications, the showing, the installing, the deinstalling, the moving it around, like all of this shit that goes into all this work, what if there was an end goal for us? Because generally it just becomes a burden afterwards. I mean, I love the work. I like the work. I made it. But yeah, what if I could use it?
Yeah, it's not spatially sustainable right now.
It's not spatially sustainable, and also it's kind of like dreadful that like your art is exclusively for other people. Like ideally, it's like I make a thing, everyone has a chance to come and get a piece of it. And then if you don't want it, it's mine. You know, I get to like it
Yeah.
in my life.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. World building for the self.
yeah,
and
yeah.
The world. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that's greedy. Who cares?
Yeah.
I feel like it's already greedy to be an artist at all, a little bit.
I feel that sentiment.
So, whatever.
Yeah. When I'm working on something I don't like, it doesn't feel like hard enough work. Like, I'm working hard and I'm not enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, to me, hard work should at least feel like hard work, like I'm, like, mopping floors or, like, back of house and sweating and, like, feeling like hard
Yeah.
work. When I do something artistically that's, like, hard work or not enjoyable or it doesn't resonate with me, I have, like, an icky feeling, not, like, a I'm grinding feeling. And then if
Yeah.
I'm doing work that I do like, I'm a little bit like, why am I so... What makes me so special that I can
Yeah.
click on my computer, click, clack, clack at home? Why me? But that's cool. New word to describe that feeling. It's greedy. Cool. That's fun and new.
But there's a level that you have to be. Like,
Yeah, people should feel more deserving by and large.
Yeah.
I would argue that my sense of feeling greedy is because we've been taught. I probably swallowed the idea that art is unnecessary or egregious or bad, like far earlier than I even was able to comprehend it. Also coming from a family that appreciated art.
Yeah.
We can't help that. It's very, America or my city or my world at least is very optimization centric. And it was, even now, like saying you're a scientist versus an artist, like one of those sounds like better.
Yeah.
But alas, I'm having fun. So outside of this proposal in this show, not to be like, what's your 5-year plan, man? But like, what's your 5-year plan, man?
I mean, I don't really have one. You know, this sounds maybe arrogant, or I don't know what it sounds not good. Maybe won't specify what the not good is, but I didn't have a 5-year plan at the start of school. I didn't have a 5-year plan at the end of school, and just like involving myself in things has worked out. Like, I've never had a dream of being like a famous artist. You know, I don't want to show in Miami. I don't want to show in Venice. It doesn't really matter to me. So, you know, I don't feel like an urge to be aggressive business-wise, and so I don't feel a need to be like planning things out perfectly. And also, every time I've had a plan, it's like something comes up that plan ruins. Something randomly pops up where, you know, I plan to go here to do this show at this time, and I work really hard to get that show. And it's like all of my effort and all of my focus. And then as soon as I like kind of do it and I'm like in it and things are shipping off, I like get this thing that just like falls in my lap for the exact same time. And I'm like, fuck, I didn't need to like do this grueling bullshit. I mean, maybe I did. Maybe it's like a cosmic thing, and like only because the grueling bullshit happened, like something easy was replaced. But I'm not really a pragmatic person who has like plans going for them, which is maybe not a good thing.
No, I think that's fine. I said this recently. I even mentioned it this morning at my meeting. I don't know where this came from, but Sisyphus has been coming up a lot.
Yeah.
Like, I I don't know why, but like he's back. Everyone's talking about it.
Everyone's always talking about Sisyphus.
Yeah, but I'm on a weird wave where I'm like everyone like. It's like people forgot and are like, let's bring that. What point is like I'm seeing Sisyphus references everywhere, and so my Sisyphus reference of the day is, I feel like I was Sisyphusing for a while, and I am like pushing, and there's all this resistance and like gruel and grit and this like desperation in everything that I'm doing. And I sort of realized that like the rock is somewhat invented, and I found that I can actually not push the rock up the hill, and I can just like continue walking up this hill, and then I'm like like I'm still, if I like let go of the rock and the resistance, it's like this invented resistance, and I actually have the capacity to let go of it, and I'm still walking up a journey. Like I'm still in a pursuit and working and moving and doing these things. I don't need to hold the weight of weight itself for the purpose of being weightful. Like there's no...
Yeah, and also you could look at it like this solo pursuit is invented. You know, you can have other people help you with the rock. Like other people can push the rock with you.
Yeah.
And it's like totally imaginary that like, I mean, I get that it's a metaphor and it's like pointing at a specific thing, but like if everyone is attached to this idea, like there's sort of an arrogance to being like, oh, the weight is all mine to bear.
Yes.
It's like, no, you can share. Like we can share in whatever is going on in our lives. And other people can help you with your boulder, and you can help with other people's boulders. Like, everyone can get up the hill and then fucking roll it back down.
Yeah. Like you were saying earlier, there's no one achieves anything without the help of external.
No.
Like no one is self-made. That doesn't happen. There's no, we're provided all this pressure to be self-made or solo, and there's a lot of weight on the value of being independent, or like self-made is a very big term, not necessarily in art, but in America and the world, I guess. But like other people will be helping you anyways. So you might as well not be arrogant about it and thank and acknowledge the people helping you with the boulder.
Yeah, and working in ceramics taught me that kind of early on, because just the material itself, it represents the help of other people. Like even if you know you have a solo studio and nobody ever helps you fire, and nobody ever gives you a glaze recipe, and nobody ever like gives you advice on whatever, you know, mug you're making, somebody mined up that dust that got sent to somebody else who wet it down into clay and mixed it. Somebody took that clay and packaged it, and then somebody distributed it, and then somebody bought it, and then you have it now. Or you bought it. Yeah, you bought it. But unless you're a person who literally goes out into the woods and digs up the clay yourself.
But even so, like something got you to be able to have the ability to do that.
Of course,
thing,
yeah.
You know?
But I just mean like the material itself, it sounds so pretentious to be like, oh, I learned from. But the material itself was like, oh, 1,000 hands have touched this clay before I have. And the goal is that someone else, after I make it, someone else is going to touch it. And ceramic is interesting because it's like a forever material, kind of. It takes a long time to break down ceramic. So once you fire clay into ceramic, you know, it's around for thousands of years. That's like a lot of potential for other people to touch it. So really it becomes just like a pipeline of people interacting. So yeah, it's never a solo pursuit. And to like think it is a solo pursuit is sort of blah.
Yeah.
And I get that applies to everything. Like even if you're you're not working with a physical medium, like you're a digital illustrator, let's say, like somebody built that
program,
Wacom tablet. Somebody built that program. Somebody built your computer. It's a craft perspective, but like the people that make things are important. to your life. And it's hard today to grasp that because you never see the person that makes your thing. You have no idea who built your MacBook. No idea. You have no way of even possibly finding out who built your MacBook. But it's like it's an object that was made not expressly for you, but it was made for you.
These do not need to be your top 3 necessarily, but if you had 3 pieces of media to recommend people to consume, it also doesn't necessarily have to be media. It could be a restaurant to try, or a podcast episode, or a TikTok that was really good, or a play, or a movie, or an album, etc.
To recommend in a real way, I don't know.
Or it doesn't even need to be recommend. It could also just be like something you consumed recently that's like stuck with you for some reason.
Yeah, when I graduated, that gender theory professor that I talked about before gave me a book, which many people know, but it's called A Lover's Discourse by Roland Barthes. It's really just like this anxious mulling over of like romantic connections, and it's really kind of horrifying to read, but you sort of read it, and it's blocked out into sections that have groupings of ideas, and every section you get to, you're sort of like, fuck this guy, like this fucking asshole, like no way this has also happened to him on this kind of intimate level of detail. So that's a fun, kind of annoying read. There's a poetry book, Crush, by Richard Sicken, I don't know, which is also like a very anxious book about love. And he's sort of using it's aptly titled because he's using this framework of like the crush as in like the romantic obsession that is also like this act of violence, like you're being crushed. And that sort of like violent anxiety kind of runs through the writing in the book. And it's really great. I don't know, because I don't like stuff. I don't like stuff a lot of the time. I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of Bonnie Prince Billy, which is kind of a douchey recommendation to make, but I love Bonnie Prince Billy. He continues to get older and make the music of an old man, and I kind of love it. I love that he's still making music, and I love that the newer stuff like feels like, I don't know, he's gotten really optimistic in sort of like an annoying way. But it's great to hear. It's great to hear some optimism, even when it is just like, we can all do it together. Like that's what all of his music is like now. Whatever.
Cute.
It's great.
Good. Those are all very good recommendations. Although you have already heeded much wisdom, is that the right word? Although you've already provided much wisdom and much food for thought, if you had one word of advice to anyone in any pursuit, what would you say?
Anyone in any pursuit?
Yeah.
I think the fundamentals of your life are really important and worth reiterating to yourself. Like with the ceramic thing, like if you're a writer, like it is important that somebody made that paper for you. And it feels so mundane and fundamental, and it can feel just kind of adjacent to you at sometimes, but it is like that sort of thing is important, and I think that extends to something like a fundamental in my life is that your life, the life that you lead, and what you'll remember and what's important is how you treat people. Were you there to help somebody? Where do you fall in a group? Where do you give aid? Where do you I don't know, I guess this is also a perspective of someone who has friends who are more successful than them. So I want to acknowledge that. Let's like, oh, my friends are doing cool shit. Let me help them and help them out. But yeah, what's important is the basics of life, the golden rule, which is so dumb to say, but like reminding yourself that, you know, if the way you go through life is simple and kind, like things can work out. If you're like, shit, I have no job, I mean, it feels very privileged, but being kind to someone can get you a job.
If you're seeking something, participating might help you get there.
Yeah. Or keeping your connections, or these
Being
things are
open.
important. And I also don't want to frame it as like the job is the be all and end all, because that's absolutely not how I feel about a way to live. But obviously I'm aware that it is necessary. Go to your job, make some friends. Your friends are important. Which is like, it's like so fundamental. That's like why I even remind anyone of it.
But people forget because you get distracted by it.
Yeah.
Necessity and enjoyment become very opposite very quickly, and there is a way to make the necessity sustainable and enjoyable, and at the very least like manageable.
Yeah.
And I think people, I have friends, not necessarily in the arts, but especially outside of the arts, but also in the arts, I know people that are like, I'm just gonna hunker down and like hate every second of something for as long as I can physically and mentally stand, and then I can enjoy myself. And it's an idea that they didn't build themselves, and it's not their fault, and it's the result of a bad system, frankly, but people do forget. And I think it doesn't help that like people do pride themselves in working that sort of hard, and are like, I had no friends for 17 years and I made this thing, and I'm not seeing a ton of that, honestly, but like I know that that concept exists where it's like, if you work hard and kill yourself for your work, you make something amazing. And I don't think that's a necessary narrative that we need to.
No, I think it's like bad things are always going to happen to you and everyone you know. And good things are going to happen. Maybe someone only gets small good things, but, you know. So, like, building that correlation is, like, a little bit... Like, yeah, of course something good came after something bad. It was bad. Like, something better is eventually going to happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And attaching, like, a cosmic importance to that could be pretty anxious.
Yeah.
And I know because I do feel like cosmically punished a lot of the time.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Everything happens to me.
Yeah.
Like very Chet Baker.
Yes. Yeah, I think also like these good bad things, or good bad choices, or good bad behaviors, or good bad habits can be reflected onto someone's identity, which can be detrimental. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day, and if an event or an instance becomes bigger than it is, I understand seeing the big picture can be important, and like considering context can be important, but by and large, I'm finding if an instance of good or bad becomes an identity or a larger qualifier than it is,
Yeah.
it really truly only has negative outcomes because it's trying to maintain sort of like a strictness or a rule or some stability in something that is ever flowing and will never not be flowing, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being on my silly little podcast.
Yeah, thank you for having me on your silly little podcast. What did I just crush?
And I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope I did okay in a real way. This has been Emmett Jorgensen in the Hole.
That's me.
This was fun. That's you.
It was fun.